All right, now we get to observe Andy play the pocket rockets.
Yeah. Looking for some space exploration of his own. All done spectating for obvious reasons.
Oh,
Barbaro might find things costly yet again.
this is a dicey spot. This is very similar to the last time, but the positions are even earlier because this is an 8-handed table now, and there's more ICM pressure. He definitely might fold this. I think fold is pretty reasonable. He also might stick in 1.9 million and find out some bad news.
Well, remember, with the ace-queen, he chose to make it 700, allowing himself to get away from the 4-bet. But you wonder whether or not that would have maybe influenced this decision.
I like this fold.
I feel like I'm
The
in favor of it
positions are
as
too
well.
early.
Kolev's got himself some trouble, though, in the cutoff ace-queen suited.
One of the kind of big takeaways I feel like is modern poker here at Triton, watching the top players that I've personally taken away, that I think like 5, 10 years ago was quite different, is kind of the value of it, these high ICM situations, 20 big blinds, some of these mid pairs where you used to just see people always pile them in.
Yeah.
And now you're starting to see a lot of these top players really play them very carefully in a lot of these spots.
Well, can't blame
So
Kolev for
tight
not,
ranges, ICM pressure.
for not exercising similar caution with this kit as a very committing 1.15 has been deployed. Andy jams over the top. Kolev always knew what would be required in the event that this took place, and suddenly 4.2 million works its way into the middle, and Kolev has got real issues.
By the way, I feel it. I had a really good feeling.
Nacho the humble.
I know it's a fold, bro. But, yeah, I mean, he's so... It's a standard fold, actually. I'm not a genius.
So see, they're saying, Nacho's saying it.
He's saying
They're
I'm a
actually all
genius.
joking that it's a standard fold. But
10-6-5. Kolev's problems are evident.
I knew it was coming. I fucking
And
knew
now
it
it's
was coming.
official.
I knew it was fucking coming.
Alex.
Oh my god, why I don't trust my fucking feelings?
Showered.
You have to try to play good. Just play your fucking game.
Bad? This is your fucking game?
Nacho, of course, would have turned the set.
I'm happy
Now
with
he's
all the
breathless as he somehow makes this moment more about him than about the Bulgarian, Kolev, who I thought played really well en route to this final table. Sad to see him go. That's a lot of talent exiting the building, but conversely, everybody who remains in the field is going to be quite thrilled with the departure of formidable opposition such as that. $98,500 for Kolev. That's what he will be tacking on to his career Triton earnings. This is a profitable operation. I want in. Although we're getting all our drinks for free,
I think I won in on a mochaccino.
Okay, Rast, you want me to get in on? See if I can get her attention. Let's see whether or not these pocket threes will get Barbaro's attention. The answer is yes. He says 625 from under the gun. Obviously sub 10 bigs. He understands the urgency before him. See how much respect he'll be getting. Ace 5 suited. Sweetie.
Going for it.
Let's go.
Vyasheslev. Trying to decide what to do with ace 10 off. I think normally here against under the gun with the ICM implications, given that you have to call, putting basically almost all your chips on the line feels close, but maybe a little light.
struggle looks real here. Time banks have been slipped forward. He's looking over at Andy to his left. If I park your bones in that seat, Rast.
Wanna call?
All things created equal. How you feeling about ace-10?
I'm pitching it, I think. Ace-10 off? Yeah.
Presumably it is
Aram
close.
Aram has 800K. Yeah, I mean, it's probably kind of close.
Is it the ICM that just puts us over the hump here? You see
Yeah.
Boldigan also finding the bin eventually, but he does have 2 shorter stacks than his own in Nacho and Sarkeesian out there. He can obviously await some more focus in terms of their plight. Touched on already the ladders available. They're not insignificant. Now Andy, pocket 4s. He's got Barbaro destroyed.
And he also has 9 million in chips. Nobody behind him. Yeah.
Is this a call, he said?
He put, I think it's a raise. He put 1 million already.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, he said call
No way.
after having already plopped in a covering amount, it looked like. Nacho actually was lobbying for the rest to be put in, and now lamenting perhaps that choice
Then
Tree's coming.
as he's shown a hard 8.
No. Your aura is like so different, Nacho. I'm not trying to put you down, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Threes have been a pretty
Oh,
lucky hand.
my goodness.
The tree's coming.
No jack.
Andy Nee, not amused whatsoever by that.
Jack.
No jack.
Jack. Jack.
Yes. No jack.
Jack la flip.
No jack.
Jack.
Turn is
Put a
clean,
jack for
so
him.
improbable.
I want to see
Is
pain.
that
No jack.
set up there for
Jack.
Four is the pain.
Jack. Nah,
Nacho
you deserve to
Barbaro?
win, bro.
Yeah.
Clean run out.
Why don't you put the jack there? I want to see him in pain.
Yeah. Почти победил.
Bro, you call with pocket fours when I go in under the gun. You're really crazy.
Сейчас бы шел уже на кушать.
Andy, you're really
Ладно.
crazy.
Banana.
Gracias, amigo.
Glad you called, yeah?
What?
Tell him glad you called.
Post-pot silence is afforded you.
Yeah. He's-
Brian hit a 3 yesterday and got second. Might be lucky. Brian Kim, he had jacks against threes. He hit the 3.
he came second.
He came second. He was out. Threes are hot on the
Aces
final table. You guys
For
gotta-
Chris Brewer,
Think everything with
threes
you
for
are done.
Boldigan.
8, you hit an 8. Threes, you hit a 3.
I'm hot, but look at me, bro.
Easy game.
Look at me. Come on. So easy. I make it look so easy. It's not that easy actually, but I make it look really easy.
You're going to make this look hard.
Yeah, the threes do find the bin, but the ace-king unlikely to do so, as Barbaro thinking maybe the sun's shining down on him. But as we can see, this is an overcast sky.
Yeah, he's probably just going to pile.
Yep.
And
Chris
This one
snaps,
is
and
a
by
hard
the way,
one.
he's ready for the earful.
What a cooler. It's okay. I'm gonna flop it straight. You didn't think about that one, right?
Давай без троек, чтобы не обидно было. Тут 10 нормально.
4.7 million in the middle.
this is going to be a tough one for Nacho to do.
Oh, Jack, and yeah, you're right about that.
During it.
Ace is full on the flop is the case. Ace finds the board. No Jack on the turn means there will be no chop.
At least I go out with the tile.
Would have taken perfect for
For
Nacho to avoid anything other than a 7th place finish.
Тройки сейчас вкинул. Ах, хорошо.
Well, things are going to get a lot quieter here at this final table, is my guess. absent the Argentinian Nacho Barbaro. Left to collect $133,600 is Nacho. Always entertaining. He can turn on you, but obviously it's going to be a non-issue.
That sound, no.
You have A7.
You have, it could be ace, but I don't know. What you got? I can't for you. What the cat, baby?
I beat you.
Yeah.
I beat you.
Really?
I beat you.
No back there.
Vyacheslav can't take it, just begging Danny to let him off the hook, and technically, yes, Danny did beat him, though he hasn't said with what specific combo. Meanwhile, the ace-deuce offsuit, under the gun, opened by Schwede. He has been far and away the highest VPIP here at this FT. It really has been the Nick show. Pocket tens for Sarkeesian.
Yeah, like just giving mental game analysis here. Like I'm shorting Vyacheslav right now because I feel like mentally he's just out of it. Just watching, having worked with Elliott Rowe and I'm up with that side of it, he's just agonizing over stuff. He's questioning himself. And
Yeah,
I
some
think that was
self-doubt.
a bad laydown
Yeah.
for what it's worth. But, I mean, you can see the guys at the table are kind of shocked that he would fold an ace because you shouldn't. But
Well, you can also see that perhaps that laydown is going to earn a ladder.
I mean, he's
Not on
probably
this board,
chopping
though.
that flop. He's a huge favorite to chop. Like, if you had them turn over the hands and you showed ace-8,
Oh,
he
yeah,
should
of
put the
course,
money in
of
because he's only losing the pot probably like 20% of the time, winning like whatever. Anyway,
Well, hang on. Sarkeesian could be at risk of losing this one. An ace or a 4 is all it would take on the river, and instead it's an 8. So a double for Aram, and of course, that's not what Vyacheslav wanted to see. For that matter, anybody else at the table, Schwede included.
Aram has, it's been a very consistent line so far. He's played super tight and just waited, passing up every conceivable spot, and then in the race to wait. So if you're the chip leader, having Aram at the table is pretty sweet. So Schwede should be happy.
Can I get a Caesar salad? Can I just get a Caesar salad? Yep. Yep. Awesome. Thank you.
Pocket 5s for Andy. Button open. Pocket queens for Danny.
Wow. I don't know if Andy can fold when it versus an all-in here. I mean, he's going to be 1.5 to when he's getting 2 to 1 on his money. Oh my goodness. Well, he can fold now.
Ace King suited. Nicholas has got the ingredients for a classic race.
Yeah, wow, this is going to save Andy probably that 1.6, and now we're going to see a pretty big race here. I don't. Schwede's going to go with it.
He decides to jam as opposed to flatten, perhaps end up with a dry side situation, or maybe even an overly ambitious pair of 5s. Table for 2.
BVB with queens.
5 million in the middle.
Yeah, come on, ladies.
We know what Buldigan's rooting for. As Tang obviously not given a choice but to get involved for his tournament life here in spite of the presence of a 2 big blind stack and a big pay ladder. 6-5-3. Clean for the queens.
Yeah, Danny is the only person at the table rooting for Danny.
You have 5s?
It's worth a decent amount of money to everybody else if for Danny to bust here.
Yeah, specifically 53,000 and change. Turn. Safe. You see Danny. Ivan Leal, Player of the Year award leader. On the hunt for a 6th Triton title. Can he remain involved? No!
Wow.
GG, boys.
Не будем так радоваться. честно.
And you see the grimace
В душе, да?
as the king vanquishes Danny Tang from this FT in savage fashion.
Yeah, good run by Danny. He bobbed, he weaved, he found some spots to be aggressive and try to win, but at the end of the day, just queens couldn't hold.
So Tang will collect $180,500 for this 6th place finish. Vital Player of the Year points. In addition to some steps closer towards 16 million in career Triton earnings. 31st career Triton cash as one of Hong Kong's finest. Falls and leaves 5 behind. Bigan so improbably capturing a ladder. And we refer back to that fold. Obviously, would have been quite likely to chop, so don't want to make too much of a meal of it, but it was this sort of development that I would imagine he had somewhat in mind when choosing to surprise many of us with the fold
525.
against Danny's ace-8.
525.
And now you see greasy wheels on king-8 offsuit. Bigan rips Brewer and ace. Says, let's get that last quarter in there. And 2 live cards for Vyacheslav. 1.5 million chip pot. Tension and ice broken by that bust out moments ago of Danny Tang. Bigan on his feet behind. 40% equity, a 3-2 dog, and he finds himself a king-high flop. Keep the needles away from the board, and now keep the crabs away as well. That's the thought on Vyacheslav's mind. Oh! Once again, the river choosing violence here. And on this occasion, the beneficiary, Chris Brewer. And Bigan could taste the double, and instead now tastes defeat. 5th place finish for the Russian. Definitely gave it everything he had into the tank on multiple occasions.
Half his chips or one of those like larger towards all-in sizings, it does really preserve the ability to 3x and then fold. So maybe he could do it with some weaker hands as well. Hands way too weak that where you do the half or most of your chips all-in type sizing.
Queen 7 suited. Employed by our chip leader, and pocket 10s for Sarkeesian. He's done well with this kit on one occasion already.
That play's not really in my playbook, so I'd love to hear what Andy's thoughts are as to why he did it.
Well, I'm sure we'll have a chance to cross paths with the man. Sarkeesian jams. King Jack suited. Finds a simple muck. Schweedy asking for a count.
So he needs to call 1.37 to win 2.8. It's actually right around break-even odds here.
Getting better than 2-1 slightly.
Yeah. But I think if you showed me this and said it's break-even odds, if I'm him as the chip leader, I still fold because, like, I want RM to stay in.
Yes, but you want him to stay in with that sub-10 big blind sort of stack. You don't want him to creep into that 16 big blinds sort of spot, because then the opportunity before you to throw the shackles onto Brewer and knee, and attack with a measure of relentlessness becomes much more limited.
I mean, even if Aram doubles here, you're in a great spot, and it limits the others. But it's more just I don't want to bust him. He's just playing super tight and overfolding, and I'd rather take advantage of that than like gamble break even here. But
Good. They have one over.
But gamble it is. Violence was chosen. And here we go to the flop. He needs a queen.
And he finds it, but note the presence of an 8 and a 9 as well, providing Sarkeesian with a gutter.
Presence noted.
Board pairing 9 on the turn. It's going to take
Dangerous four-siders.
a 10 or a jack to keep the Armenian involved here. Not going to happen. And all of the resilience that Aram Sarkeesian demonstrated to this point comes undone.
I know.
Queen 7 suited, the culprit. And you can see a little bit of disgust on Aram's face there, but nothing to be ashamed of. A tremendous performance here at his first ever Triton Festival, Rast.
Yeah, good showing. I mean, he never had a lot of chips, so playing super snug and basically going from 8 at the final table all the way down to getting 4th. I mean, it's pretty good overall considering how he came in. Can't be disappointed with it, even though he might feel that way right now.
Yeah. So for Sarkeesian, 2 cashes. And then you've got Shweety, whose Triton career consisted exclusively of events played during our visits to North Cyprus. Had a runner-up in the 25K GG Super Millions back in 2023 in Cyprus, and then final table the 25K PLO, so can play a little 4-card as well. Did not cash in event 1 here. Hunts Brewer with ace-7 and Chris ace-10.
This is a spot where Brewer has decent amount of ICM pressure. Curious to see what he comes with.
And you see Chris immediately asking Andy for a count.
Yeah.
3. Yeah, like 3 million. 3 medium. 3-6. Yep.
Yeah, so Andy has 3.6 million. Ooh, and he decides to make the call. He's going to really like to see what he's up against.
Wow. I thought you were going tighter.
I think it's the worst hand I'd call it. I wouldn't call this.
You see Chris confess that that's going to be bottom of range that he calls with. Nicholas was a little bit surprised to see the ace-10 given the ICM implications, but all of a sudden Andy Nee gets to sweat one out where that big ladder that you talked about, Rast, of 180 dimes could be his to claim if Shweety gets lucky.
Ooh.
Not looking likely.
Pretty locked down flop right
For,
there.
yeah, for Nicholas to be a winner on a Queen 10 deuce board. And it's official. Shweety drawing dead, asks for the count, and this is absolutely not what Nicholas wanted to see. Let alone Andy Nee, for obvious reasons.
5.6.
And when the dust settles, I think we're going to have ourselves a new chip leader, Rast, by about 5 bigs.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
6 million.
going to be super close, but yeah, that sounds about right.
6 million.
42 big blinds, 12.5 roughly in front of him, and
He actually is back in first. He has 12 million, sorry, and Brewer has 10.
so back on top of the mountain is Schwede, and Ace Jack will activate.
Oh, should see a collision here in a little weighted race.
Hard 14 for Andy. Don't ever bet that on a craps table, by the way. That's no matter what the odds they give you.
Tough combo to roll on the dice. Andy's going to roll all in whenever he gets around to it. And Schwede's gonna call it. I'm not sure what Andy's doing, because this seems like a very easy decision. There's not even, I mean, he has the shortest stack by a lot, too.
I don't think he was really deliberating about what to do, rather just going through some motions here in the hopes that maybe something on the cusp would make a meal of that and get itself involved here. 2 overs against the pair as the gentlemen start their engines here in an 8-figure pot, which needs to go Andy's way if we're to avoid getting down to heads up.
What?
You have a jack?
No, I had king 2 suited.
Ace 10-9, a disastrous development
8, I'm on like an 8. No jack.
if you're Andy Nee.
It is bad.
Oh my goodness, finds the 2 outer on the turn. I don't even bother building drama in spots like this. Note, however, that Schwede still draws live to an 8 with the gut shot.
How much?
A little close for comfort. Board pair, 7's full. We'll take it down as Schwede asks for a count. And a rather manic depressive experience, 3-handed for his stack.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. Stacks on a roller coaster.
4,700,000.
When your stack yo-yos in the way that Schwede's has Rast, does it take a toll at all? You know, where you can't exhale, so to speak. You know, you think maybe you found your breakout, and then back on you comes a thumb, pressing down.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on your state of mind.
Well, as you
If
look
you're
upon that
weak.
screen and you look at Nicholas, what sort of state of mind do you think he's in?
Just implies that it'll probably continue, but 1 out of 3 hands, and it's quite good. All we really need is another good hand here, and
Ace-Jack suited is quite good. Andy knows it.
wow, 3x. Andy's still going with that sizing.
1.2.
We saw him do this earlier, but this is quite a different tournament situation, and he's still doing it.
Another ace-jack for Brewer. Offsuit variety in the big blind.
All in.
Jams. This is just too much hand, is it not?
Yeah, I don't think Andy can fold.
Is he going to wash this one down with a spot of tea before making his decision. Oftentimes in the chat, people do ask, what are they looking up at? It isn't divinity. It is rather the tournament clock that hangs above our feature table and provides a wealth of information that helps inform certain decisions.
I mean, again, with all three of them being close, it does suck to call here and just be at risk to go out in third as opposed to waiting. So that's definitely what he's thinking about. But ace-jack suited is a lot of hand here, three-handed for 20 blinds.
Ultimately, he does make the anticipated call, and this rates to be a chop, although you do see 5% edge for Andy. That courtesy of the diamonds. Brewer with 2 clean suits. That was a couple of percent. See if we get any sweat on the flop. King 10 deuce, backdoor diamonds for Andy. The only potential problem. There is a diamond on the turn, and what a savage way this would be for Brewer to get a big bite taken out of his stack. Is another diamond in the deck?
Ooh, it was red.
That is scary.
Almost.
Sir. So let's carve it up.
Fairly decent amount of hands, three-handed.
Yeah, yeah.
How about roughly 4 bigs for Brewer?
All in.
Okay. Drip it and rip it. And this, I think, is the last hand at the 500K level.
That's
And
bad news for Chris.
Schweedy is back to I think a little bit more than what he started in the heads up to begin with, 17 mil.
How the heck did I miss Brewer just bleeding down to 2 million?
Blinds are pretty big.
Savage. I mean, $1.25 million every 3 hands. It'll go quick.
Yeah, now it's 1.5. I mean, Brewer has like 1 orbit here. Oh, Kings. Hello.
2 million.
Will seek a double. Leaves 400 back. Andy out of the way.
Oh.
Ace Queen. Schweedy. So let's just get the rest in there. And
I saw the ace, but lovely.
Ace Queen.
Thank God.
Mild threat to the Kings in a 5.5 million chip pot. Might we see this gridlocked 3-handed battle finally give way to heads-up play? Doesn't feel that way on an 8-high board, does it?
No, this is pretty nice for Kings.
And on the turn, hang tight. Got to fade an ace and a 5 now if you're Brewer. He almost looks a little pessimistic about it, Schweedy. Keeping an eye on the opposition, but the jack on the end does secure the double for Chris. Deeply needed.
Wow, this is really an epic 3-handed battle of just raw endurance. We did it.
I don't know how far that little half-ounce taste
You know what I
is
feel
gonna-
like now? It's like you, after Popeye eats the spinach and the...
Dun, 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 dun. Jack 10. Rast really did pop out of his seat, by the way. He's not exaggerating. And it looks like Brewer's popping out as well here. What's he got? Yeah, Nicholas set all in. This is a call. Brewer, ace-jack suited, dominating. Is he going to take another double? This would be a 10 million chip
I
pot.
think he goes into the chip lead if he wins this.
Remarkably enough, considering that he had dust moments ago.
That's somewhat definitive.
Flop.
How much? Just run it.
Oh, prepaid juju there from Schweedy, who hits a 10 on the turn.
For the sweat.
Hang on. Could it be running 10s? That'll get us to heads up. Be so dirty. Not there.
2, 3, 4. I can count one. Wait, I can count. There you go. 2, 3, 4. That's 5 million. Yep.
And we're back to a three-way race.
Two roughly 16 big blind stacks between Brewer and Schweedy.
Just when you thought you were going to get some clarity.
A big wag of the finger in the face of that
no.
notion. Andy, 13 bigs. And this has become a strange war of attrition. Months. What? That's nothing.
Well, I do live in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of outposts. Sure.
But yeah.
But I mean, I'm proud of you, by the way. Keep those double doubles close by.
Yeah.
You know,
Double.
it's the key to happiness. And you know, arterial obstruction, but whatever.
I mean, yeah, burgers aren't great, but they're not like the worst thing in the world.
I'll tell you what.
It's when you add like the French fries and the soda and whatever. But if you went and just got a burger, 700 calories, decent protein content. We got a few veggies on there as well. Yeah, it's not great, but it's not bad.
Also not great. Holding King 10 against King Jack on this Ace 7-4 board. Now Andy does connect with the 10, but note Brewer has picked up the spade draw and the gutter. Jack for a winner as well. Instead, it's an 8, and Andy will double through Chris as this three-handed affair refuses to end. Massive eye roll from Chris.
The low stack always wins.
Look at Nicholas under his breath. He's like, why don't you just die? Nothing personal.
Yeah.
But just this is a measure of resilience that's been exhibited by the short stack. Somewhat unprecedented in nature. I'm reminded of, what was it? Gold member early scene. You know, the guys that, hello, is anyone there? I'm very badly burned, but I'm still alive. I think it was Will Ferrell's character.
Yeah.
Someone in a dungeon, like massive spray of bullets. Just, how are you still alive?
Well,
It's a liberal book.
that's a gambling man. I think I have a side on that one.
You're with the over as well?
Willing to bet. We just need to submit it secretly, along with the amount we're willing to bet.
Well, Brewer's got some issues on his hands here. He's made it $5 million to go. Andy Nee is going to ask for the extra $500 that he had back. And look at this, a third ace for Schweedy, shriveling, of course, in the face of effective jam and rejam.
I don't know, though. I mean, like,
How much
don't you
have?
just
5
want to
million?
fold here and let
How
Brewer
much you have?
Him
maybe bust to Andy?
Okay.
14 million.
I mean, it could be very profitable to simply spectate. Haven't touched on it in some time, but we're talking about 180K ladder
guess
between
the
third and second.
Question is, if Andy wins the pot, do they chop third and second because they both went out, or do you get second because you had more chips?
The latter.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that changes things a bit.
I can be ahead.
Yeah, if he basically, so if he calls here, if Andy wins, he still comes in second. If Brewer wins, that's
Oh my gosh, he's going to make the call. Rast.
Kind of makes sense with that rule, though.
Oh, wow. Oh, shit.
Okay, now look at this.
Oh, shit.
Brewer has asked for everybody to relax.
Oh, wow. 6 spot for me now. Thank you so much.
He is going to
Maybe I have
fold.
the best hand. It's fine.
Hey,
If you fold, then the winner will win the tournament. If he wins, for sure.
I'm not sure Schwede's supposed to be getting in Chris's
I
ear like this.
don't think he's supposed to give Chris advice. It's probably not unbiased.
I mean, walk me through this.
You know what I think happened is
What's
I don't
the
think
argument?
Schwede realized that Brewer could still fold.
Okay, but
really.
what's the argument, real quick? Brewer does end up. Well, hang on. No, this
No,
is
it's a
time bank
time
usage. What is the argument in favor of Chris Brewer finding a fold right
That's the
now?
sickest fold ever.
If Andy,
See, I don't mind you folding.
his hand is not good, call over call. He probably has very little equity, and he can lock up a pay jump by folding here if Andy wins. Of course, if Schwede wins, then he's always in third. So, but
So basically,
yeah,
I have him beat.
he would have been rooting had he folded for the covering stack of
Andy
Andy
to win.
to shower Schwede, so he gets the 180K pay ladder and obviously a very uphill climb in terms of trying to get first. But instead he
Don't wanna
calls,
put an 8, don't
and
put a
this is
10. It's fine.
basically
I'm happy second after what happened. Maybe a 10 and I win it all.
for the tournament in some ways here, considering that Andy has over 50% of the equity and a dominant ace against both of his opponents.
can chop all of us.
Queen 7. Imagine if the 7 rolls off. What a relief
Just
that
for
would
the
be to
And then,
Schwede and Brewer, both of whom are covered here.
Okay, king. King is better. No. What I'm saying. 7.
8 seems great.
Why not a 10?
oh, look at this card.
6.
Well, now the ace and jack
6, 7.
play unless the board
7, 10.
pairs.
Clean winners are 10s and 8s for Schwede and Brewer respectively. 6s and 7s for a chop. Andy in the lead, 71% equity. Can he end it here? Yes!
That's
a
it.
double
I
knockout
guess
as three-handed suddenly gives abrupt way to a victor. Unprecedented, Rast.
Yeah, this is a bizarre way to end the tournament here. No heads-up play.
So Andy Nee picks up the title and the $785,000 as Schwede will be left to collect second place as the covering stack ahead of Brewer. Brewer will collect third, 354 for that third place effort, 531 for second. But that is the man of the moment. $785,000 richer. His first ever title.